Lauren was humming as she entered her apartment from working at the burger place. The smell of grease in her hair and clothes didn't even register as her thoughts fixated on the new play at the community theater. In 2 hours, she would be auditioning for the lead role. The character was complex, and the difficulty in portraying her made Lauren salivate for the role. Once she was refreshed, Lauren hopped on the bus and waited anxiously for her stop. Just then her phone started to ring. It was Anna, her best friend. They hadn't seen each other since graduation. Her friend had moved to Los Angeles to seek her fortune. Meanwhile, Lauren had chosen to stay in town to find a job and pay off her student loans. She caught up with her friend, but then the pleasure of hearing from Anna disappeared once Lauren heard the news. "Congratulations on landing the role," she said, forcing herself to sound cheerful. Anna began telling her about the role in the major Hollywood production, and when she rattled off the names of her co-stars, Lauren's throat constricted. "Look, Anna, I'm really happy for you, but I gotta go. I'm late for my audition," she lied. The call ended, and Lauren stared out the window. She was lost in her thoughts, but she managed to get off at the right stop. The next thing she knew, she found herself in the auditioning room where the air was abuzz with nervous energy. When she was up next, she took in a deep breath. It only took a few seconds before her acting skills took over. She slipped into the character's mindset and delivered her lines. When the audition was finished, she thought it went well, but somehow the play seemed like a letdown, especially when she compared it to the movie Anna would star in. When Lauren returned to her apartment a few hours later, she went straight to her bedroom and dropped on her mattress. The excitement she experienced earlier was completely deflated. Ever since they spoke, Lauren couldn't get Anna out of her mind. She pulled out her phone and searched for her friend on the internet. After a couple of minutes, she found pictures of Anna holding hands with an A-list actor. An unexpected surge of jealousy, confusion, and unhappiness hit her all at once. Her friend was a gorgeous model, so it was not surprising that Hollywood was willing to give her a chance. In comparison, Lauren was the ugly duckling. She simply wasn't a classic beauty, and she was unlikely to ever land a major film role. Instead, she was destined only to play roles in small, obscure theaters. Life was so unfair. At school, it was Lauren who was praised for her character portrayals. She was the one who received awards for her acting. But here she was, far from her dream and working at a burger joint. Unfortunately, the bills had to be paid, and Lauren went back to her routine. She had almost forgotten about her audition when the theater director called and told her that she had gotten the lead role. Her fiancé George was happy for her, and he took her out to a fancy restaurant to celebrate her success. The next day, Lauren called up Anna to share her good news. Her friend was genuinely happy for her, but then as they spoke, Anna mentioned that her movie was a box office hit. Since she had an interview lined up, she apologized for cutting the conversation short. While her friend never intended to make her feel bad, Lauren felt terrible nevertheless. Anna had made it. In comparison, Lauren's so-called success was pitiful. The idea of acting in a dinky local play seemed bleak. What if her acting career never took off, and she had to spend the rest of her life working at a fast food joint? She would marry and have kids, of course, but she would never get a chance to make a mark in the world. The idea of living a boring, mediocre life depressed her to no end. Whenever she had a chance, Lauren checked up on Anna's social media accounts. But when she saw evidence of her friend's happiness, she withdrew into herself. She made efforts to hide her discontent, and no one knew about the turmoil she experienced. One night she was out with George when a couple approached them and asked her for an autograph. They had recognized her from the play and thought she was an incredible actress. Their praise felt good for a short while, but then she remembered Anna. Lauren might act well in the play, but her friend was in a box office movie. On the ride home, the car was silent. George tried to engage her, but she didn't feel like talking. All she wanted was to wallow in her misery. You know, if you're so unhappy, "Maybe you should do something about it," George said in exasperation. Her fiancé's comment surprised her. When he dropped her off at her apartment, she sat on her sofa and mulled over his words. She really was tired of being sad. She just wanted to be happy. With her decision made, Lauren threw herself into her research. She quit all her social media accounts and read books and articles about finding happiness. She started to meditate and immerse herself in nature. Exercise also became a part of her daily routine. Before work, she often went for a jog. One morning it started to rain, but she decided to run anyway. Halfway through her route, she spotted a pretty garden. She smiled when she saw a beautiful rose with raindrops still clinging to its petals. Then, to bring in a sense of fun and adventure into her relationship, she invited George over to her apartment on her days off, and they experimented with cooking delicious gourmet food. The time they spent together only solidified their commitment to each other. Many months passed, and Lauren's contentment grew. One day after her daily meditation, she sat still for a long while as things started to crystallize in her mind. It occurred to her then that the thing that made her unhappy and unfulfilled was comparison. It was only when she stopped comparing herself to others that she was finally able to see things for what they were. Negative emotions from the past and worries about the future no longer clouded her experience, and she was free to fully experience the moment. And it was in the moment that she found the joy that she longed for. What did you guys think of the story? Please comment in the comment section below. I can't wait to read your answers and discussions. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to get the latest stories to warm your heart. Until next time, bye!